Alright, guys, so we got some news today that really just up and surprised me on a multitude of levels. We're not only getting a new comic series focusing on John Kent. That wasn't surprising. It's more along the lines of what's going on in John Kent's story that's more surprising to anyone else. Basically, what has happened is that we are getting a new story that's basically canonizing the Injustice universe into the DC continuity. Now, it was always kind of said without saying that, like, Injustice was already part of the DC multiverse, along to an extent, Mortal Kombat, Looney Tunes, and the Hanna-Barbera characters. They were all kind of, like, in the DC multiverse, in one form or another. So it is kind of funny that, you know, this is officially getting, like, a full-on, like, hey, this is happening, and this is what's going on in the realm of the DC universe. This whole thing of the DC characters from Injustice are going to show up in canon in comic form in the DC universe, and in the John Kent comics, no less. So I think that's really cool. This is from the new series from Tom Taylor, who has been writing John Kent since the new era of DC. This is part of the new Dawn of DC era, which I'm really curious about. We've got some new era of DC characters. You know, you have, like, the Justice League being replaced by the Teen Titans for about a year. Like I said before, is that I don't see this as, like, this is not going to be I'm not saying I don't see it as a permanent thing. It's more like I know this isn't going to be a permanent thing of having the Justice League be permanent. The Justice League is in no way going to be permanently gone, and they're just going to do the Titans. So it's going to be a year, maybe 2 years max, before we see the Justice League again. It'll be like that. But it is cool that this seems more permanent. You know, this is actually a lot more permanent, of seeing a universe, you know, canonize, you know, further meet the actual DC comic universe. It's almost like, it kind of weirdly enough reminds me of when there was a story arc in Fantastic Four by Dwayne McDuffie that was post-Civil War, and it focused on Black Panther and T'Challa alongside Thing and Johnny, you know, Ben and Johnny, while Sue and Reed were kind of reconciling their marriage post-Civil War, and T'Challa and Storm made the new Fantastic Four. And what happened in there is that they went, T'Challa, Aurora, Ben, and Johnny went to the Marvel Zombie universe, and that was kind of cool. And then we had other, we've had this before a few times, but that was what that just kind of strikes out to me. So yeah, so the story. So let's talk about how John Kent is, and why John Kent is going to the Injustice universe. So in this story arc, basically John Kent is hunting Ultraman, not Shuach Ultraman. It's more the evil. It's the evil reverse Superman, and Ultraman is going around killing Superman throughout the multiverse. We don't know why. We just know that that's his game, and John is going out to hunt him, and the two of them have ended up in the Injustice universe. Now, a couple things, first and foremost, that we have to talk about. One being where in continuity this kind of sits for the Injustice universe. Like, where does this fall in terms of, like, the Injustice comics? The big question, that's where it is in, like, where does it sit continuity-wise? Are we sitting in somewhere in, like, where Tom Taylor wrote, which was the years 1 through 5 of Injustice leading to the first game? Or is it somewhere in between the first and second game? Or is this one of the endings? And if so, which ending of Injustice is it? Because I feel like if we get more... Because, yeah, they did do a Injustice He-Man crossover not too long ago, and it used the bad ending, the Superman ending, where they all, you know, bonded with Brainiac and became a totalitarian police state at the end of it. And that said, that ending was kind of canon, but that's a crossover. You can't really count that as canon. Here, I feel like it's a more solidified answer if they do one of the two endings from Injustice. If they do one of the two endings from Injustice and focus on here, I feel like that's basically saying that's the definitive ending. I don't think that's going to be the case, but who knows? I personally believe this is going to this comic is going to be during the 5-year period where where Clark and the others and the regime, Superman and the regime, were taking over the planet. Like, that's where I think it's going to be, is like somewhere in the regime era of Injustice. Now, a couple things to really focus on is, one, that fight between Superman and Injustice Superman and Ultraman is going to be pretty fucking sick. I'm not going to lie. I am already excited for Regime Superman fighting Ultraman. Yeah, I'm in. And the other major thing is, this means that version of Clark is going to meet the son he never had. Like, remember, his son was killed alongside Lois by the Joker during that whole... You already know the story. Why am I telling you? But yeah, that's the big thing, is that that version of Clark is gonna meet this version of John, the version of John he never met. And what's John gonna think of seeing his father like this? Like, yeah, I think he's gonna understand, yeah, this is a alternate universe version of my dad, but still, this is really fucking horrifying to know that my dad could do this. It's really, like, a horrifying thought that it's gonna really fuck with John to see that his dad is capable, his real dad is really capable of doing things like this, of being this level of savage, of being this level of just violent and willing to kill people. It's also kind of funny because I do remember that one of the things they wanted to do for Future State and for the new era of DC that DiDio wanted to do was make Injustice Superman canon, and by that I mean make Superman a tyrant who killed people in the main continuity. This wasn't like Injustice Superman showing up and taking over. No, this was going to be main Superman becoming evil because that's what every fucking edgelord wants. And yeah, I'm pretty sure DC wanted to ride the Homelander Omni-Man train, even though that's the wrong thing to do. And I feel like they wanted to do that idea again, but Tom Taylor was like, how about we just have him visit the Injustice universe? Because that was the whole original idea, and you can thank Grant Morrison for stopping them. Thank you, Grant. They were able to stop DC from, you know, doing a really stupid thing. And what they did, I imagine that they wanted to do this idea again, but Tom Taylor stepped in and went, because the whole idea was Superman was going to go regime. It was going to become like Injustice Superman, like in the main DC universe. Fucking stupid. And John was going to be leading a resistance to fight his father. So, yeah. But Grant Morrison was like, no. How about we don't do that? And if you do that, I will never work with DC Comics again. That was apparently that's what I've understood, is that's Grant Morrison's, like, that was Grant Morrison's ultimatum. They were going to tell them that, hey, if you don't do that, if you do this, I will never work with DC Comics ever again. And DC was like, okay. So I imagine they wanted to revisit that idea, and Tom Taylor went, we already have how about we just make it official canon? We make the Injustice universe a part of the official DC multiverse. We can do that. It's under it's our IP. We can do that. And I feel like DC went, why didn't we do that sooner? Go ahead, Tom. And I feel like that's exactly how it went. I could be wrong, but I just have this sneaking suspicion that that's what happened. Because yeah, it gives you that whole thing of evil Superman and John fighting him. So yeah, yeah. Also, I am looking forward to how John and Regime Superman are going to interact with one another. This is really cool. I am really excited to see the Injustice universe and everything else in it seen through the eyes of this very optimistic kid who was raised by the real Superman. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out on so many levels. I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to go with the ending, or are they going to go with the 5-year beginning, or the 5-year time gap between parts 1 and 2, or are they going to focus on one of the endings? And I feel like if they do one of the endings, that's going to basically say that's the canon ending. Could be wrong, but who knows? But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of the Injustice universe becoming canon in the DC universe? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? Are you guys looking forward to seeing an Ultraman Regime Superman fight? I know that's my ticket for wanting to read this book. And are you guys excited to see John go into the Injustice universe? And are you guys excited in general to see that Injustice universe become canon in the DC multiverse. Yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.